So, hello. It's Tyler, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tyler, yeah.
Tyler.
Tyler, you tell me a little bit about. I'm told you work in the games industry. So, like, is that true? Where do you work? What do you do? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I work for a company called TT Games, and they've made most of the Lego games, like Lego Star Wars and Lego Indiana Jones and all that.
TT Games. They're like a. Lots of people who know anything about the games industry will have heard of TT and Lego. Everybody's heard of Lego. So you're working for like a really, really well-known games company. And where is this? London, Hong Kong, Silicon? Where is this that you do
Uh,
this?
yeah, it's around the Manchester area.
So it's in the north of England, because a lot of people think like all these things happen somewhere else in the world. They don't realize that things like this happen in Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of games companies around Manchester and quite a few around the north and all that.
So you're in Manchester now, but you didn't always spend your life in Manchester, did you? You're from Yorkshire originally?
Yeah, I grew up in a town called Ilkley, which is in the Bradford district.
I I've been through Ilkley a few times, so I know it's not so far from Bradford. But I can't imagine many people thinking, "Oh, this games developers coming from Ilkley," because Ilkley's like a very small little town, isn't it? Like a couple of supermarkets. It's not really where
Yeah,
people think that video games developers come from.
no,
Yeah.
not really.
So I'm guessing maybe 10 years ago or so, you were maybe in year 8 or year 9, 13 years old or so at school.
Yeah.
Did you know then that you were going to end up working for TT Games and Lego, or did it just come as a complete surprise? You woke up one day and now you work for TT.
Well, I always knew I wanted to do something with like computers and maybe like making video games and all that because I really enjoyed video games as a kid. Uh, but like um was more I mostly knew I wanted to do something with computers at the very least. Um, but yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out so how you got from Ilkley at school to now working for this company. So were there things at school that helped you? Did you go to clubs? Were there things online? How did you end up on this journey?
I mostly found started watching YouTube videos around like small like computer projects and then found like programming. So then I got some books on like program how to learn programming and different programming languages. And then because my school never taught any sort of programming, so I thought the best way to learn more about that was to look online and find like YouTube tutorials and uh, website tutorials.
That must have been quite difficult, because I'm guessing if your teachers weren't showing you how to do this, I'm looking for other people. Like, did you have parents or friends who were, "Oh, here's what you need to do, Tyler, get this book and then read this," or were you just basically figuring it all out for
Yeah,
yourself?
basically just figuring it out for myself because like I was like there's not really many people in my family that know much about that side of tech.
You must have had people saying, "No, Tyler, there's no money in that. You better off go and study maths or physics or something like that." Did you have people trying to tell you to do different things?
No, not really. Like they knew that like IT jobs were well paid and all that. So they like told me to go for it and yeah.
So that was really good. So you had the support of your family and your friends who were like, "Yeah, Tyler, if it's what
Yeah.
you want to do, then go and do that." So when you left school, you had GCSEs, A levels, and then is
Uh
that right?
just just GCSEs and then I went to college and did a BTEC in computer science because like during my school never taught any like programming for A level, so I found Craven College did a computing style course which had programming, so I decided that was probably the best option.
So Craven College, this is in Skipton, isn't it? It's just outside
Yeah.
Skipton. And so while you were there, you chose a course that I think you're saying it wasn't necessarily, you thought like this is going to be the best, but it was the best that was available to you. And you thought, well, at least I'm going to be doing something I enjoy.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm still missing, there's like a few years. So you finished college and then you've ended up, did you go to university or something?
Yeah, I went to after college. I went to Newcastle University and did well. I started on the regular computer science bachelor's degree, and then when I got to my third year, I was able to pick modules. So I was able to pick stuff like games programming, graphics for games, and all that. And from like about halfway through my third year, I was like, I want to do more of this. So I decided to switch to the integrated masters that involved games programming. So I spent my fourth year just focused on like games programming and making like game engines, like doing a lot of the back end, learning about a lot of the back end code, like graphics rendering and game physics and all that.
It sounds quite incredible. Like you sound like you've been very, very determined and focused, because you were saying like at the age of 13, you knew this is what you wanted to do, but there was nothing at school to help you. So you had to then go and find books and videos and things like that to help you.
Yeah.
You really would have liked to, at 16 to have done a course on video games, but there wasn't one. But the next best thing you could find was a computing BTEC. And then you went to university, and ideally you would have done a degree in video games, but you didn't. You did a general kind of computer science course, and then finally you were able to specialize. Wow.
Yeah.
And you've stuck at it, and you seem pretty happy with you're enjoying your work.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it can get stressful at times, but other than that, it's like a really enjoyable experience, and being able to see a game progress through stages has been really interesting.
When you're saying it can be stressful and there's you can stand back, some people might stand back now and say, well, look, here was Tyler at the age of 13, and he's done all these things, and eventually he can stand back and say, look, he's working now in the video games industry. So if somebody was watching this and they were 11, 12, 13, 14, is there any advice that you could give to them? I mean, some things maybe that you tried that didn't work out for you, or something that people said to you but you weren't able to do, that you would like some good advice that you would give?
Mostly just like stick to it. Fine if you like try different things. Like if you want to do games, like find online resources like Unity tutorials or Unreal tutorials, and start by doing that. And if you enjoy it, try progress and find more in-depth things.
And there's a lot of free stuff out there, particularly with Unreal Engine and Unity. There's lots of courses that you can follow online, and you can watch lots of tutorials that people have done.
And a lot of companies these days use Unity or Unreal rather than building their own engines now.
And even if they don't, I presume some of the things that you've learned will transfer over to those as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of companies have made it so their engines are in the same style at least. So.
And there was something else I was going to say. Did you ever get, do you think, wrong advice now that people said certain things that Like, did you ever get somebody saying, "Do you know what, Tyler? You want to learn how to program in Java because that's gonna," Did you ever get people giving you rubbish advice? And
Not really.
you're quite lucky then. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't think of anything off the top of my head
No,
at least.
that's fine. So right now, when we finish this little discussion, if you decided you were going to go away now and you want to learn a bit more about something, are there particular YouTubers or people on Twitch or certain channels or anything that you'd recommend that have helped you understand certain things?
Yeah, on YouTube, there's a guy called the Cherno who's really into making like the game engines side of things, but has like videos on C++ and programming.
That's some low level stuff, but
Yeah.
games are faster in that kind of language. Cherno, is that like CHUR or is it
CHERNO.
okay? I'll have a look for that. Tyler, it's been really lovely to talk to you, and thank you, because I presume you're now going to go back and you've got some more lines of code to write or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing some personal projects as well.
Okay. I suppose. Sorry, something else I just thought of, because at the moment I'm working from home. It looks like I'm guessing you're working from home as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working from home since March. I mean,
So one of the things I suppose about video games is you are able to work in different places. You don't always have to be in an office with hundreds of other people all working in it. So that's kind of
yeah,
helpful in a way.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Tyler, thank you so much. And we hope that this is going to be useful to other people.
Okay.